My name is Jason, aka Superhero Stepdad, and today is Trendline Tuesday. And what that means is every Tuesday I've been starting a new article slash Instagram post where I take one of the hottest cards in the hobby and I analyze it and I pull all the data of all the sales from websites that have gone back throughout as far back as they'll go. And today we're talking about one of the hottest cards in the hobby. It's March 3rd, 2020, and we're talking about the 2013 Panini Prizm Giannis Antetokounmpo PSA 10 rookie. This card has just been on fire lately. So I went back and I pulled all the data and I plugged it into this Excel spreadsheet and we generated a graph that shows all the sales of the card. And then it also shows the trend line, which is the average of the sales and the direction in which sales are going. So as you can see, the first recorded sale of this card was January 28th of 2015. A PSA 10 sold for $17.01. So it was way back here. And throughout the first couple years of this card being around, it never really topped 20 bucks. It stayed there through 2016. It hit 45. It slowly started to go up and back down. And much different from today, as we all know, there's so much hype surrounding the way cards go. It wasn't like that just a few short years ago because this card never really took off until, as you can see, in September, the end of September, which was the start of the season. It was still 85 back in 2017. It just stayed under $200, under $200. It stayed down, way down. It never really went anywhere. Here we are in July of 2018 and still 130 bucks for a 10. As you should know, today in March of 2020, this card is selling for $2,500. And it was still as recently as last at Christmas of 2018, it was under $200. It never really started to take off until just recently. So I have some more interesting data about this card we're going to take a look at. As I was saying, it came out in 2013 and it never really got graded until, or at least it never sold until 2015 because the card was so cheap that there was no sense grading it. The first handful of sales were all 20 bucks, 20 bucks, 17, 15. There's one for 30 back around Halloween of 2015. So you could have picked up as many of these as you wanted. It was insane how cheap they were, if only we knew. And it just stayed cheap, cheap, cheap. Here's a lot of two of them back in Valentine's Day 2016, sold for $105. I have the parallels included in the analysis here, so we can look at some of the interesting ones. If we go here, September 20th of 2018. So what are we talking about? A year and a half, not even ago. One of the blue prisms, the very rare PSA 10 blue prism, sold for $810. It's insane. And then here was on the same day, on the 20th, a green sold for $675. I believe one of these just sold for around $9,000 not too long ago on eBay. One of his silvers on September 20th sold for $1,586. Again, that's like a $15,000 to $20,000 card today. And the red one sold for $770. It just makes no sense as to how much these have gone up. On the same day that all those were selling, you could pick up his base, $120, the one that we're talking about for the most part on this Trendline Tuesday. 120 bucks on September 23rd of 2018. So this streak continued with his cards not really selling for much, not appreciating in value because he was a relative unknown. It wasn't until just this past season, the 2018/19 season in which he won the MVP, that he started to get a little bit of notice. As you can see here, it was around halfway through, around April of 2019. It was shortly after the All-Star break because that's usually whenever things start to pick up in basketball, or at least in the hobby for basketball card collecting and investing. In April of 2019, just about not even a year ago, the card was $400. And then $350, $415. So it was hovering in that $400 range, $300 to $400, and it stayed like that. But then everybody started to realize, he's doing really well. The Bucks have a chance to go to the finals, and he might win an MVP. So the card was starting to pick up some steam. And by May, it was starting to hit $500, $600. Here's May 1st, $520. May 1st, $500. May 1st, $450. There's another bargain. There's bargains to be had pretty much anytime you bought this card up until the past couple months. It was a bargain. Here we got May 2nd, $1,500 for one of the red, white, and blue Pulsar Prizms. Incredible. and just slowly started to climb up because people thought, hey, he's going to go to the finals. He's on one of the best teams in basketball. He might win a title. So the card started to climb based on that hype and speculation. And it started going up towards $600 here on May 7th, 590. And it just started to go. And then once everybody realized, well, it's not once they realized, once the Bucks didn't make it to the finals, once June rolled around, the card, we're still in May, it just started to tank. Here we got June 11th. That was the red, white, and blue. We have $430, $427. So it dropped almost $200 because they didn't make the finals, which is a huge percentage since it was only 600. So it dropped like a third in price. And it stayed that way. And it just kept all summer, all of last summer, just this past summer, you could have picked up this card in a 10 for $400 to $500. It was everywhere, all day, every day on eBay. Just dozens and dozens and dozens of them. 4th of July, $450, $480. And it stayed that way. And in the off season, they started to get a little bit more hype about, will he be able to live up to his MVP that he just got because he won the MVP? The cards didn't go anywhere. He won the MVP and they dropped. He needed to win the title for the cards to continue rising. Obviously, that did not happen. It might happen this year. We don't know yet. We still have a handful of games left to go in the regular season. But as the season was getting ready to start in late August of this past year, it was still around $500 card. It was starting to climb back up a little bit. Here's one it went for $600. It was an anomaly because the very next couple of days later was $510. And it just kind of hovered in that $500 range. It was so hard for it to break the $600 barrier. That was the key price point. It just couldn't really break $600. So now we have the season starting. Here we are in October, and it's still $560, $540. This is October, as in just a couple months ago, October. Then things changed. December 16th of 2019 was the last time that the card sold for under $600 on eBay. We have several that day that sold for $580, $580, $600, $590, and $575. This $575 was the last recorded sell of the card going under $600. So it was just before Christmas. Everybody realized the Bucks are the real deal. They're heavily favored to win the title, or at least to make it to the finals from the East. And Giannis is the clear-cut favorite for MVP, which would be his second in a row, back-to-back. So the cards are starting to go up. And as you can see, by Christmas, it's broke through $700. And then it quickly jumped. Here's one. It went to $810. And then it's hovering up and down, 800, around 700, 800. And then it just kind of just stayed there. And then January rolls around, and then the card's going for $750. Then a couple days later, it's going for $897. So it's just back and forth and back and forth. And we don't know exactly which direction it's going to take. This had to be an extreme anomaly because for January 16th, it sold for $1,300. And there's no reason it should have sold that high that soon. But as we all know, Kobe passed on January 26th. And on that day, there was the world kind of woke up to basketball card collecting, I feel, and many feel that it's like everybody kind of put Kobe's legacy as a basketball player into perspective. And whenever you add in some of the other key factors, it kind of made cards start to skyrocket. Should it have happened? That's up to anybody's guess. It's your opinion if you think it should have or shouldn't, but it did. Because here we see around January 26th, the card's around $870. The next day, it's $904, $900, $900. So it starts and it drops back to the low eights. But then it just, not even a week or so after Kobe's passing, we hit $1,000 on February 4th. It sold for $1,000. And then from there, it just, you're thinking, well, that seems ridiculous. Why is it this much higher? If only we knew, because it just kept going and going and going. Here we have February 7th, $1,049, and then it goes to $1,075, and then we're topping on 11th of February or 10th of February. It's like $1,130, and then we get around Valentine's Day, and it's $1,200, and then we have the light blue Prizm that sells for $6,000, and the die cut, and then the regular Prizm's $15,000 for the light blue, which was insane money. And the card was just going through the roof. February 20th, we're hitting $1,200, we're hitting $1,400. It's just pretty much every time one comes up for sale, it's going for a higher price. It's like, what's happening here? $1,350 on February 21st. You could have bought the card for half of that, not even 2 months before this. It's ridiculous. It kept going and going. On the 22nd, here's 1500, 16, 14, 14, 15, 1500. This is all for one card. 1800. Somebody sold a lot of 3 on February 23rd for $5,000. And then that just pushed it from there. We hit 1999. So on 25th of February, we have a recorded sale of $2,000 for this card. Whenever it was $600, not even 2 months earlier. So it tripled in 2 months. It doesn't seem sustainable. Here we have, this was an interesting one. If we go back to the first sales of the card, see if I can find this one. We have, here we go. Back on August 15 of 2016 for $100, Giannis, the green Prizm Refractor PSA 10. August 15, 2016, $100. Fast forward to February 27th of this year, just a couple days ago, $9,000 for the same green Prizm. So it went from $100 to $9,000. If only we had that time machine. So as you can see, here's the most recent one, March 1st, $2,500. $2,500 for a PSA 10 card that we could have bought all last year for $400 to $500. Why is it doing this? Why is it going through the roof in price? I personally think there's about 5 reasons as to why this happened. Currently, first, Giannis is the favorite to win MVP, which would be a second in a row, which doesn't happen too often, and his team is the best team in basketball currently as far as record. That is the second reason. They are the best team. So he's favored to win the MVP. They're favored to win the title. Both of those happening would cause his cards to go up. Perhaps there's some of that, people assuming that's going to happen is causing the prices to go through the roof right now. Maybe third reason I think is because LeBron James is one of the absolute greatest of all time. He's a living legend, and he is currently on the Lakers, who are the second best team in basketball, the second favorite to win it all, and he's the second favorite to win MVP. So it's kind of that rising tide carries all boats or lifts all boats thing, if you will. His cards are going through the roof, so it's kind of carrying Giannis's as well. The fourth reason was Kobe. When Kobe passed, I feel like this caused a lot of people who had never been in collecting cards, it caused them to get interest in cards just because they, there was so much talk about Kobe and they wanted to, they started collecting. And the fifth reason, which I think might be the biggest, is there's a huge influx of international buyers in the hobby today. And Giannis, of course, is an international player from Greece. So we have so much money coming in from places outside of the United States. And this card, it's not really, it's kind of common, but it's not. A PSA 10 has almost 2,000 copies as of today, which is kind of rare. LeBron's top chrome rookie has about the same number, in his card selling for about $7,000. So obviously Giannis is not LeBron, but some people are basing it on, well, could he become that? And it's like, if he does become LeBron, which nobody's saying he is, but if he were to become LeBron, where would his cards be? We just, people are already assuming that he is. And it seems like back in 2015, it was more of, well, what have you done? And nowadays, as far as collecting or investing, it's what could you do? And there's a huge distinction right there. And I think that is the reason why his cards, as you can see from this graph, it was basically a flat line from 2013 or from 2015 right here until about 2019. It was under 200. It was like $150. And then it just stayed there and stayed there. And then it slowly got over 200, as you can see. Here we are, we'll go to today, if we can find one. Well, March 5th. So there's about 1 year ago, it was $281. Just 1 year ago. And then today we're up over 2,000. It doesn't even go high enough. The graph we had to make bigger. So it's just like, it looks like a humongous roller coaster right here. Boom. So where does it go from here? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Personally, I think the way that the basketball card industry or hobby is going right now, with the quick flippers and the speculators and the new money coming in and the international market, I think, as dumb as it sounds, I think the card keeps going up in price. It went just straight up. It's like just straight up. And I think it has more room to grow. If he wins the MVP and he wins the title, I think $2,000 would be a bargain. It's ridiculous. I'm not buying anywhere near at that price. It's crazy, but I think it does go up. If he doesn't win the title, if the Bucks get eliminated, heaven forbid they get eliminated in the first round, the card will, I think it'll drop back down to under $2,000 quickly. And people will have lost a lot of money or made a lot of money just depending on the timing of when they want to sell. Where does the card go a year from now? That all depends on what he does in this off season. If he wins the MVP and he wins the title and the card's somewhere near $4,000, $5,000, I would assume that it's, no matter what he does, I would assume it's got to drop. It can't stay that high right now. He hasn't won 4 MVPs and 3 titles like LeBron has. He hasn't won 6 titles like Jordan has. He hasn't won anything that should say his card should be tripling in 2 months. This is all speculation that's driving it up. So I don't care if he does, even if he figures out a way to win 2 MVPs this season, which isn't even possible. But even if he does, I still say this card is going to drop. Don't take my word for gospel. You do what you want with your money. I just don't see how these prices are sustainable. But in the short run, I think that it could continue to rise. So that's pretty much all we have for this Trendline Tuesday. You can follow me on my website, superherostepdad.com. You can follow me on Instagram at superherostepdad. I post analysis of cards and different cards from my collection and, just different funnies and whatnot related to the card industry and the hobby. I post daily on Instagram at superherostepdad. And you can also follow me on YouTube as I am starting up the channel for, you can search for Superhero Stepdad. You'll find this video. Obviously, you found this video, you're watching it. But you can check back and subscribe and like and leave comments if you want. Let me know if there's any cards that you would like to see specifically. I'm going to try to put one out every single Tuesday. It could be something from any sport or even non-sports. I've got some interesting cards that I'm working on. And that's all I got. All right, thanks.